Alright, welcome back to another video, and welcome back to another AP Pre-Calculus video. Today we'll be going over topic 2.4 of Exponential Function Manipulation. So, let's go through this first part. They're all kind of the same, where we're just doing the same thing. We're basically changing this into the exponential form of the equation. So we're given these this format. And with that, we want to use the product property to basically simplify or change it back into its original form. So the product property is basically just splitting up, I could say. So let's start at question 1. We see that the exponent is this, right? Basically, we want to split it up. So the first one plus the second one. So because exponent is 2 terms. And so we want to, this right here is going to be the same thing as this. So we have that there. And now that we did that, we can actually change that because we know that's 49. And then it's actually not plus. I did that for some reason. It's multiply because it's still the exponent, even though it says like addition or subtraction inside the exponent. It's still multiplying since it's an exponent of 7, so multiply. So it's either multiplication or dividing based on the sign in there. So 49 times 7x, and then that changes into using the real form of exponential, which is shown right there. This 49 is our a, and then b is 7 because that's to the power of x. So we know that's our b. And that would be the answer to our first question. So the second question instead has a minus sign. So then we know that we're not going to be using multiplication, then we'll be using division. And if we split this up though, it's 5x and then it's 5 negative 1. And because we know that's a negative, 5 to the power of negative 1, this negative number, it will change into, so 5 to the power of negative 1 changes into 1 over 5 to the power of 1. So 5 to the power of 1 is 5, so we can erase that exponent. So it's just 1 over 5. But we still need to put this back in. So because we know 5 is b, it's just going to be next to 1 over 5. So 1 over 5 must be a. So 5 to the power of x, and don't forget the function name. So that's our answer. Now moving on to the next one, we see this is addition. So when we separate these two, this is gonna be 8. So 8 times 2 to the power of x, that's equal to h of x. So that's our answer for number 3. So number 4, we have 3 to the power of k and 3 to the power of negative 3. So we change this into a fraction. So 1 over 3 to the power of 3. And 3 to the power of 3, that becomes 27. So 27, 1 over 27. And we'll make sure to put this back into the equation. So 1 over 27, 3 to the power of x. That's our answer. Now number 5, we have a number on the outside. So for now, we just ignore it, and we only deal with the number that's being raised to the exponent. So 4x, and 4 negative 1, that goes to 1 over 4 to the power of 1, which is just 4. So 1 over 4, we have 1 over 4, 4 to the power of x, and now we put it back in. Times 2, and 2 times 1 over 4 is just 2 divided by 4, which 2 divided by 4 is 0.5, because 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 is 2. And so it's just, so the a variable is 1. So 1/2 to the power of x, that's our answer. Alright, and so number 6, so there's a number coefficient in front of the variable. So what we want to do, because that it's still being raised to the power, or it's raising 3 to the power of 2, we can simply put that number on the inside because we know its value and because it's being multiplied. So we wouldn't do 3x. We wouldn't do 3x and 3, 2 because x and 2 is not being subtracted or added, and it's being multiplied instead, so we can't do that. So we have to do this. And so with that, we know this changes into 9 to the power of x, and so that's the answer for that one. So number 7, this one is dividing by 2 here. So when we divide by 2, I don't know if you guys remember, but we did learn this in algebra 2, where a number to the power of like a fraction would be equal to the denominator would be the index number of the root that it's getting rooted by. So it's 2. And then 4, but we don't know x, so it's just there. And yeah, and then the numerator is a number, the exponent on the inside. If it doesn't have any, then it's just 1 over whatever the index number is. So this changes into 2 to the power of x, and that's our answer. So if you are a bit confused on that one, basically multiplication, we would do the exponent, and then division, multiplication division is always the opposite. So opposite of exponing or squaring, cubing a number would be rooting that number, square root and cube rooting. Yeah. So same with number 8 here. It's x divided by 3. So if we look at it this way, we can change that into the cube root of 8 to the power of x. And so that changes into 2. 2 times 2 times 2 equals to 8. And we can't do anything about the x, so we just do that. So that should be our answer for number 8. Now number 9, it has quite a mix of everything. So we ignore the 5 for now. Number 2, so we can do this, 2 to the power of 3. Keep that x on the outside, times 5. So 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 8x times 5. So there's no number. So we have that, times 5. It can't be multiplied by 8 because 8 is being raised to the power of x, which 8 to the power of x should be done before multiplying 5. And so we cannot do that. So it's just, the answer would just be 5 times 8 to the power of x. That is our answer. So moving on to these kinds of questions. These kinds of questions you're given. Okay, so it's still simplifying. It's probably just harder though. So let's go. So we have this here. So this one is basically 436x. That's the exponential form of it. So I think this is already the exponential form, and we're just trying to simplify that. So we can do 4, and then 36 can simplify to 6 to the power of 2, because we square rooted 36, but we still need to keep that 2 up there because inside still needs to equal 36 to the power of x. And then we see here we can change this by bringing that 2 on the outside, because remember when we did, like for example number 6, 2x changed into this. So to simplify that, we would bring the 2 out. So 2x, and that would be our answer. Can't be 2 because we didn't do anything on the outside number. So it's D. Now the next problem, we have this here. We can do this. And then that can change into a 9. And so that is equivalent to B. So B is our answer. Now number 12, this is h of x. So this is dividing here. Let's ignore the 9 for now. 4, so it's actually square rooting a form. So 2, that's x. And that gives us 2x. And so now it's 9 times 2x. And that should be our answer, so that's equivalent to h. Or not h, b, my bad. We know it can't be a because we're not doing anything with the outside number. It can't be 18 either, or it can't be c because that says 18. Now we have 13 here, so this seems a little harder, but we can still do that. So because this has a exponent, we can move a into parentheses and then just move 4 into parentheses 2. And let's see here, looking at our answer choices here, if we look at the first two, a and b, it has 2 here. And remember, when we simplify these kinds that has to the power of x divided by a number, that means that the bottom number is the index, right? So the square root of 2, it simplifies to that doesn't equal to 4. So we can already eliminate these. Sometimes looking at the answer choices will help if you do get a little bit stuck and not know what your next step is. So we know that it's one of these that has 16. So is it a or is it a squared? Oh, we already know it's gonna be d because we can't get rid of this, right? So the way we get d is, so it looks like we need to get 16, and in order to get 16, this 4 needs to be to the power of 2. So we can simplify this. We can't write 4 to the power of 2 because that equals a different number, but we can write the square root of 16, which does give us 14, and 16 is in there, which is what we need, because when we simplify this here, and this just stays the same, this can be simplified into 16, because that's the inside number, to the power of x divided by 2, because when we change this back, it goes to square root of 16 to the power of x, which is that, so that's correct. And then this also stays the same, and then we multiply those two, and that should be our answer, which is d. So good. Now 14, we have a negative number here, so let's just separate first, so we get that. And we know we can't do 3 to the power of negative 2, but we change it into the exponent, so, or not the exponent, the fraction, so it's 3 to the power of 2 to the power of x, and that changes to 1 over 9 to the power of x. And so that's our answer. It should be d. And here's another trick. If you don't remember this, when we look at the other answer choices, we see there's a negative here, there's a negative here, and there's a negative there. It can't have a negative in the answer because we're simplifying it and take away that negative, because you just can't have a negative exponent. None of these answers would be correct since they all contain a negative in it. So the last question, number 15, we have m of x here. We have division there, so this is going to be the cube root of 9 to the power of x, and times 8 on the outside. So that's just our answer. It does feel a little bit quick, but if you want more into it, like step 2 of this, I mean, you could have made it, if it might be simpler for you, you could have said 8 times 9 to the power of 1/3. And it might help you understand it more. So we see that here, if we look closer, because it's kind of like really small, it's x over 3. So basically 9 to the power of 1/3 to the power of x, because we don't know x, so we take it away, because basically there's a 1 there, right? But we can't delete the x, so it becomes that, which is d. So hopefully that helped you with 2.4. So it could have been a little confusing on that division one, but yeah, hopefully that helped, and thank you so much for watching.